So let's say my special case, my inequality is less than. That means the product of these two numbers has to be negative. And the only way to get a product that's negative, it has to be a positive times a negative, or a negative times a positive. If they're both the same sign, it doesn't work out. I get a positive out of it. So, let's look, for example, if x was a really big number. You'd have a big positive number times a big positive number. That gives me a positive number. Well, I could also have x being an extremely negative number. I would have a negative minus something. If it's negative enough, I'll get a negative out of it. And here, the same thing, I'll get a negative out of it. And that'll also give me a positive, so that doesn't work. There's a special sweet spot where both are true. As in you get a positive here and a negative here. Well, if we look at this left case, I'm saying that x minus that squiggle has to be positive. That's really saying x minus squiggle has to be greater than 0. Or saying that x is greater than squiggle. Similarly, on the left side, you'll get x minus squiggle is less than 0. That'll give you that x is less than that squiggle. So I can rewrite the one on the left. I could say that squiggle is less than x. So now I can put both of these together. X on either side I have this less than symbol. And I've got one of the squiggles and the other squiggle. You'd have to keep track of which squiggle is what. But this could be your answer. Let's now pick the case of greater than or equal to 0. That means this product is a positive number and it could also be equal to 0. So it could be true that this is positive and this is positive. Let's approach that. That means that x minus the squiggle is greater than 0, or x is greater than that squiggle. And over here, this means that x minus that squiggle is greater than 0, or x is greater than that squiggle. Well, I've got two x is greater thans. The question is, which squiggle is smaller? If I had a number line, and I said there's a number here, and there's a number here, and I said x is greater than both of those numbers. X is greater than 1, x is greater than the other. Well, which one's on the left and which one's on the right is what matters. Because if x has to be greater than both of them, this isn't true. It would have to be over here. Because this area is less than the blue circle. So in order for both of these to be true, it's like an and statement. Both of them have to happen. If one of them doesn't work, then I have a positive times a negative. And that's not what I'm looking for here. So really, I should get x is greater than the big squiggle. Big squiggle. Actually, in all of those, they would have had equal to signs. Because remember, I have greater than or equal to. The convenient thing about adding on the equal to sign is all you have to do is put it in there, and it kind of works itself out. So even though I just did this whole problem for just a regular old greater than, all I had to do is go in and put that equal to part as well, and it's just as correct. Now, it could also be true that both are negative. I could have a minus times a minus, which gives me a positive number. So let's write that down. In that case, x minus the squiggle could be less than or equal to 0. And over here on the right, x minus squiggle would be less than or equal to 0. Well, on the left here, that means that x is less than or equal to that squiggle. X is less than or equal to this squiggle. And here I have the same kind of situation. I need to find out which one covers both of these, because both of these have to be true. Because I'm saying x is less than or equal to this number, it has to be the smaller number in order to cover both of these. So x has to be less than or equal to the small swiggle. And either one of these could be the case. So this is the solution. We covered a lot in this lesson, so be sure to check out the examples to get a better understanding of the material covered here.